Hey guys, this is Blake, and I'm excited because I get to review this great movie, My Soul... Oh god. I'm sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. No, My Soul Take is predictably pretty bad. Yet, somehow, I kind of enjoyed it. I don't get that. Why is that when I see a really bad movie, I end up enjoying it, even on the lowest common denominator type of enjoyment? I was okay with movies like Jonah Hex, The Last Airbender. Even Dragon Ball Evolution didn't annoy me that much, but they're obviously awful movies. I just have bad tastes, I guess. But this was pretty bad, and to explain why I think it's bad, I need to go into Wes Craven's filmography a bit. Now, Wes Craven honestly needs to stop writing. As a testament to his poor writing skills, he not only wrote one Hills of Ice Part 2, he wrote two Hills of Ice Part 2s. How many people can boast that? I mean, not only did he write a shitty sequel to his movie, he wrote a shitty sequel to the remake of his movie. So, that's in itself a reason to stop there. But I think he's one of those guys, he has a lot of interesting and creative ideas. Stuff that you'd never really think of because they're so bizarre, but interesting, and they make for compelling uses in a movie. But unfortunately, he cannot write a good script around those ideas. He becomes too ambitious and very unfocused in his scripts. Sometimes they work. Like in Nightmare on Elm Street, all the ideas, all the creativity, that just worked for that film. It felt right in the context of that film. But I don't know if somebody else was just keeping him in line, or if that was just the example of everything for once went for him. Other movies like Scream, which is ironic because I thought Scream suffered from this a bit, but from more Kevin Williams inside. And for some reason, Wes Craven kind of toned him down. But, at least he didn't write the script, so, it didn't feel like your typical Wes Craven movie, whether you liked it or not. But, what's the case here is that he cannot sustain a tone for his life. Last House on the Left, considered one of his better movies. I'm not sure I agree with that. But the problem with that everybody agrees with, is that you have this dark, disturbing rape movie, and then these slapstick, bumbling cops come in for comic relief. Who wants to see that in a rape movie? And that was his first movie, and he's still doing it. He went up all the way through Shocker. Now, I actually like Shocker. I'm one of the few people who really do. But it is definitely a very bipolar movie. It starts off as this disturbing, normal serial killer movie, and then it goes into a supernatural action film mode, and then it goes into complete... I don't even know how to describe the third act of that movie, but it's really bizarre, really crazy, and all three of these segments are really entertaining, but they don't feel like they belong in the same movie. The problem is Wes Craven keeps getting all these ideas, and he tries to fit them in there, even when they don't fit. They don't work in the context of the film. So that should have been like 3 different movies, not just one. And he just does this so much that I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten other people to start writing his scripts for him, because I think that he knows this is a problem to a point, because lately he's been producing more movies than directing, but he's not doing anything about it. Sort of like how George Lucas acknowledges that he sucks with dialogue, but then he went ahead and wrote all the Star Wars prequels, even though he didn't actually completely write the original trilogy. He got somebody to do a script doctor check. Why? He knows it's a problem. I guess it's just an ego thing. So, My Soul Take, I think, is your typical Wes Craven movie, but at the same time, it's... most Wes Craven movies aren't good, but they're at least uneven and interesting for it. But here, I think the good stuff is sort of sucked dry by the bad stuff. It just sort of drowns in them. So let's discuss this point by point. The characters. Very typical Wes Craven characters. They're all stereotypes. They have very little depth. The actors are all fine, but they don't really redeem the characters at all. The movie tries to give a little bit more complexity to these characters, but it doesn't work. The bully jerk, when they try to develop him, he's just a douchebag, and they actually try to make you feel otherwise. It doesn't work. It felt awkward. The religious chick is just, every sentence she speaks is religion. I hate when movies write religious people because they never get them right. And it's surprising because I've actually heard that Wes Craven is religious, so he should know how religious people act. And they do not speak about religion in every fucking sentence they say. You have the main kid who's kind of a loner weirdo. I do like how Wes Craven always makes his characters fight back. I'm always reminded of Scream 3 when the killer punches the protagonist and then the protagonist punches him back. That was just awesome. And the weird kid I thought was the most interesting. Not the weird kid, but the weird best friend. I thought he was the most interesting of them, but still nothing great. The cop, there's always a cop who was around during the first serial killer's killing spree, so he comes back, and you know how his fate's going to end. But this is nothing new there. There's nothing interesting. I was a little surprised in how this movie dealt with love interests. You'll see why when you see it. It goes a different way than what I expected, but otherwise nothing new there. The plot, your typical Wes Craven movie, he tries to fit too much into this one script. So, they keep dealing with how is the killer doing this? Did he survive? Is he possessing people? What? Is the main character just crazy? They don't gel well together. The ideas just completely push up against each other, and it just feels weird. I always liked how Wes Craven described the killer as sort of like a troll under a bridge type killer. And I thought that was interesting, but they just never go anywhere with that. You see the bridge in one scene, and throughout most of the movie, the killer is just this homeless-looking dude with this cool-looking knife, but an annoying voice that's supposed to be scary. I hate when movies try to have that low, guttural, mechanical-sounding voice that all monsters and low-budget movies have to have. And the costume's just mediocre. I thought the Condor costume that the main kid, or one of the kids wear in the movie at one scene was pretty scary. I think they should have used that for the costume. But, just nothing in the script works. The dialogue is so bad. You have corny lines like, wake up and smell the Starbucks. You'll have horribly exposited lines. Like when they reveal certain plot devices, or plot points, it's just horribly disguised exposition. They don't even bother trying to disguise it. And when they reveal it, just like such a random plot device that you're just confused. I was confused in this movie, and you shouldn't be confused in a movie that's mostly explaining stuff. So, it's just like Wes Craven got lost in his own script, so he failed to see it objectively, and that's, like I said, his problem with the movies in general. He needs to have somebody else looking over his shoulder to make sure he never goes too far with these plot ideas. With his directing, Wes Craven's always been, I think, a less is more director. He's not like Argento or Fulci. He's more like, not even John Carpenter. I guess Romero would be the closest in terms of comparing him. But Wes Craven, when he works at his best, is when he has a script that has a lot of visual ideas, too. Not necessarily pointless stuff, but stuff that was obviously written there for a good scene. Like, you'll have a scene in Nightmare on Elm Street where the guy gets sucked into the bed and blood sprays everywhere. It's an effective and stylish scene, but it's not necessarily pointlessly stylish. And I've always liked that about Wes Craven, but when Wes Craven usually fails, it's because the script doesn't really give him anything to do except point the camera and shoot. And this is one of those cases. There's no suspense, but to be fair, if you don't like the characters, it's kind of hard to feel any. The gore is very minimal, and there's no nudity. I always admire that Wes Craven tries to focus more on plot and characters, but when he fails, you really feel that you need more gore and nudity. So at least you would please the slasher fans, which this movie fails to do. So uninspired is how I describe his directing. Not bad, but not really good either. The 3D, I actually did watch it in 3D because my theater was only showing it in 3D. Either that or just MoviePhone wasn't showing all the listings. And watching My Soul to Take in 3D is much like watching My Soul to Take in 2D. I didn't notice it. The only scene that kind of looks 3D-ish is when you see the bridge and the fog kind of looks like it has a little bit of dimension. But otherwise, I completely forgot I was wearing those freaking glasses. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think that's kind of bad. I always prefer 3D at its most gimmicky. Because otherwise, you're just spending more money to watch the same fucking movie. So that was pointless. Would I recommend it? No. I guess as a DVD. I didn't hate the movie. I just didn't really like it. It's at least Wes Craven's trying, but I'd say if you're a completist like me and you have to see all his movies, go ahead. At least as a rental. But otherwise, don't bother. If you want to read my full written review, just check the link in my description. That's it. See you later.